Hey friends and family, how y'all doing? It's Markland Sigler. Let me move it, get my light out the way. It's Markland Sigler, and I'm here with another comic book review. Well, this is not a comic book review, this is a comic book video. So, alright, anyway, let me tell you the idea of this. Let me move the light. And this is going to be a series of videos. This is another experiment, y'all, so the light may change. Okay, so here's today's experiment in comic books. I saw this post right here on Avengers Forever on Facebook. And they're talking about Avengers 274, which I have maybe never read, but I know I read the issue after that. And the issue after that is actually my first issue of Avengers. So that got me thinking, let's do a series of videos about your first comic book. So your first Avengers comic book, your first Batman comic book, your first X-Men comic book, so on and so on. So I'm going to start it off. Wherever you see this video at, make sure you get in the comments. I may tag some people in this video as well to see what they say. But I'm going to start it off right here. But I just want to kind of give you the idea where this came from. Because I be having plenty of comic book ideas. This thing's like a labor of love, y'all. Between working and sleeping and life and grown life and all that stuff. It's hard to find time to do the stuff you like this. But here we go. Okay, so here's the scene. It's kind of to the side, so let me move this way. So basically, Hercules got mollywopped. Like I said, I didn't actually read this. I've seen pictures of it. I don't think I've actually went back and read it. Or maybe I don't remember. I need to go back and read it anyway to be sure of it. But this is basically Hercules getting mollywopped by the Masters of Evil. So this is the actual issue in question right here. It's Avengers 275. And it says, the Zorberman have gone toe-to-toe with Thor. Titanic Hydron against She-Hulk. You know, how are Ant-Man and Wasp going to stop them? So I'm just like a new comic book fan. I don't even know where I got this book from, y'all. Maybe I bought it like in some kind of mystery box, value pack, whatever. But this is like my first time I actually remember the Avengers. You know, this is the first Avengers comic book I ever actually remember owning. So I remember it starts out like this whole news broadcast thing too. Like, you know, that's a CBSI. And I guess it's supposed to be Dan Rather, who was like on the news when I was a kid. And it talks about like how Avengers Mansion's been taken over and they had this black wall and like Hercules, is the Avenger Hercules has been in the hospital from the fight, which I showed y'all earlier. He got mollywopped. And if you look real close right here, that's the Wasp right here. Okay. Okay, so from here you kind of see, all right, so Blackout's the one doing the barrier, and Moonstone, who I learned later on is this crazy ass psychiatrist. She's kind of like, I'm your friend. And you see the Wrecking Crew plus Goliath or Atlas. I forgot, but he ends up becoming a hero later on in Thunderbolts. And they're like going through Tony Stark's lab. You see the second Yellow Jacket right here. And then over here you see Zemo and Mr. Hyde. Sorry about that, y'all. And then down here you see Zemo has Captain America, and that's Dane Whitman, the Black Knight, and that's Jarvis right there. He has them hostage. Okay, so then we kind of get to the part of where basically Wasp basically feels sorry for herself, because this is when I figure out that she has actually been elected chairwoman or chairman of the chairperson of the Avengers, and she's like, all this stuff happened on her watch. You know, meanwhile, you know, Captain America, this cool as hell. He a hostage. Like, look, man, you know, you need to let Jarvis go get medical attention. Da 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 da. And Zemo's being like, you know, I'm gonna kill all y'all, man. You know, this ain't nothing but a thing for me to kill y'all. It's gonna happen. And of course, Zemo got a monologue. He got to tell, you know, Captain America, you know, last time I saw you, I thought you was dead anyway, mug. He's like, well, you know, you thought I was dead, but I didn't die and I escaped. And, you know, I love how they reference in Captain America 301. So then, you know, you kind of get to see more of the stuff right here about the plan. And, you know, oh, Hercules didn't die? He at the hospital? Oh, we're going to fix that right now. Now, meanwhile, you have Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau, who I knew was Captain Marvel back in the day, you know, because I'm in that age where, like, I don't remember Marvel being Captain Marvel, but I do remember Monica Rambeau being Captain Marvel before it became Carol, who's currently Captain Marvel. But yeah, she's like in this black space right here stuck. And I remember being a kid feeling so bad for her. She's like stuck in this endless vastness of blackness and black space where there's no light, and she's basically light, and she sees this way of getting out. You know, she gets here, it's like, it's gone. And it's like, she's like, no. I felt bad as a kid seeing this. So the next part of the story is like basically in the hospital, and Wasp was talking about like how she almost died. And it's like happened back in Avengers number 14, and then in the hospital. And I forgot to mention, this is not Scott Ant-Man she was married to, which is Hank Pym. This is Scott Lang, the second Ant-Man, the one that you see in the movies. And basically, while they're in the hospital, they get the news that, Hercules died. So, that ain't good. So at this point, the Wasp is like, I have failed as team leader, and I can't do this no more. And you need to call the Fantastic Four, who I had not probably read an issue of Fantastic Four at this point. I was like, who the hell is that? The Fantastic Four. But this is where it kind of gets y'all, because she goes to see Hercules right here, and she realizes that Hercules is still alive. So, okay, that's a positive. So she gets the doctor like, he's alive, he's still alive. And they come in like, well, I'll be damned, he's still alive. How's this happening? I don't know, because Hercules a god? Who knows? Anyway, Scott Lang, like, I called the Fantastic Four answering service. They're on a secret mission. And I love this. To see the Fantastic Four issue on sale now. They were real good about like, well, you want to know what happens? Go buy that comic book. And then just when we think everything's good, we get this rumble noise. So the rumble noise is actually Titania and Absorber Man. That's who the rumble noise is. This is my first time of seeing them two. And I mean, they were kind of scary for a kid. And they just bold with it. Like, look, man, we here to kill these Avengers. Zemo sent us here because these mothers supposed to be dead and they ain't dead. And, we here to kill them. I'm like, damn, they bold as hell. So Ant-Man is like saying, hey, man, Absorber Man don't fall Thor, and I don't know what we gonna do. And she's like, Titania's doing strong as She-Hulk. But, at this point, Wasp's like, no, if it's not us, if it's not gonna be us, then who is it gonna be? Meanwhile, we see Zemo and Mr. Hyde still messing with Captain America. This dude gets a photo of him and Bucky from like World War II. This is before the Winter Soldier. This is way before that stuff happened. And he like tears it up, man. He on that psychological warfare, y'all. And it's people who still talk about this to this day. He like trying to break Captain America. He finds Captain America's original shield, y'all. The original shield. And he has Mr. Hyde destroy that. And Steve Rogers cool as hell. Like, I'm going to remember this, Zemo. I'm going to remember this. He's like, well, nothing break this dude's spirit. So he's like, okay. We about to take it a step further. Okay, y'all. To this day, we still don't know what actually happened to Edwin Jarvis. All we know is he was like, I gotta break Captain America's spirit. He had Mr. Hyde grab him up. Look at Captain America's facial expression. Look at the Black Knight waking up like, good Lord, what the hell happening? Look at Hyde's expression. He's like, what are they doing? He's a Jarvis. Oh my God. Meanwhile, back in the hospital, the Wasp and Ant-Man like use their size to like really kind of mislead obviously superior physical adversaries. So you see how like she's stinging him in the eye, he popping up him in a punch, make him turn back normal, stuff like that. And I'm not gonna lie, the story of Roger Starkin was pretty cool. I mean, they are very ingenious about how they use their size changing abilities to get away from him. They do hit and run attacks. He uses ants to attack Titania. I mean, it's really cool stuff. I mean, this whole issue is about misdirection. I'm gonna get you to do this, get you to do that, so I can attack you here, so I can do this right here, right there, right there. It's all really well written. Now, don't get me wrong, they try their best, but see, they shriek Titania down, blast her, get out the picture. Absorber Man gets the idea he's gonna touch Hercules, but Wasp jumps up on him right here. Now, you ain't finna get that power, buddy. So basically, in conclusion, she basically stings him, the Wasp sting straight to the head through the ears until he falls out. And they actually win the fight. I'm like a kid, like amazed by this. I clearly thought they were going to lose. I didn't know what I know now as an adult. But this was actually some very good writing for the mid-'80s. I got to admit that. And I love how this page ends. But basically, Hercules is going to be okay. He'll make a recovery or he'll live. That is a whole other side story about that later on. I found out years later when Zeus came back, was pissed that the Avengers let his son get mollywopped. But I love how cold Wasp is. She's like, you know what? I am the leader of the Avengers. They gonna pay. She like, the Masters of Evil still have control of the mansion. They still have hostages. But I swear they have won their last round. Now it's our turn. And this is the next issue is Revenge, which I never actually read. I bought another Avengers comic book after that. But let me know what your first Avengers comic book was. I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Peace.